Action fanatics, welcome to another edition of the Bulletproof Podcast. I'm your host, Chris the Brain, and once again joining me, it is the Toyman, Chris DePetrillo.
Introduced by my normal nickname and not the goddamn Toyman because I know that you just love the new No Surrender Cinema that went up earlier today.
Oh, geez, we'll get into that in a moment, but before we do, let's also bring in the third member of the Freebirds here, Ryan Campbell.
That's right. I've got some sake here, and I'm ready
God.
to get into the kung fu-ness. Let's do it.
Some rice cakes, perhaps.
That's right. Some ramen. I'm ready to roll.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get into...
I got a horror over here. It's good to go.
Wow. Oh, maybe...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold
Maybe-
on. He's diving deep into this film. He's really trying to look it all
how
up.
deep? That's what nobody needs to know. All right. Before we get into The Big Boss, which is absolutely one of the movies I have been wanting to discuss on this program for quite some time, let's talk about something Toyman alluded to, because I'm talking about bulletproofaction.com and the Toyman and his most recent No Surrender Cinema brought back with him goddamn Barry Chan.
He is back. No Surrender Cinema went back to the old school kung fu catalog. We always joke about Barry. We're always throwing references out, almost as much as Gary Robbins. They are
Almost.
mainstays here on the Bulletproof Podcast. So I decided that, I've done some new stuff. We tried some Netflix stuff, talked about some Disney stuff when I did Sidekicks in the Last Electric Night. But now it's time to get back to basics, and what better way to do it than to bring back your friend and mine, the man, Barry Chan.
Goddamn Barry Chan. The best thing about Barry Chan is his theme song, and the fact that there's about 9,000 versions of it. But yeah, you can check that out. If you don't get your fix of old school kung fu here on this episode, certainly go to bulletproofaction.com and check out No Surrender Cinema. Ryan Campbell, you wrapped up Andor, and I know that was a huge event for you these past 4 weeks.
Oh, it was so good, Brain. It was so fantastic. The finale, if you read my thoughts and kind of beyond just the show about what Star Wars can be and the show, I'm not naive enough to think that going forward, this is what it's all going to be like, but at least showed like the kinds of stories that you can tell in this universe that you can't really tell in others. It was amazing. It was such a good series. If you're thinking about checking it out or you're hearing all the hype and you haven't, by God, check it out. Go read my review on bulletproofaction.com. And then I should also, my thoughts on really the last 2 arcs are on the Geekscape podcast. I joined them to go over the last arc, the penultimate arc, and then this finale arc. We talked about it at length. So go check that out when you're done listening to this podcast.
Geekscape All-Star Ryan Campbell. I want to talk about 2 movies from our good friends over at Will Go USA, because I recently covered Hunt the Wicked, which was a very good action thriller. And then as this drops the day before, I will have posted my review of Donnie Yen in The Prosecutor. Absolutely the best movie I've seen this year.
Ooh,
High praise.
I loved it. It is part legal drama, part action film, which one would expect with Donnie Yen in there, and it marries itself together, and I love it. The story is great, the action is great.
I want to see this now. I just watched Donnie Yen and Rogue One because after finishing Andor, you simply have to watch Rogue One, and Donnie Yen is in that. I just watched him.
And there is a little nod to Star Wars in the movie as well. So he is one with the Force.
The year before this, was it A Working Man? Was that your number 1 right now?
No, it was not A Working Man. That was all right.
Legal drama action thriller. That is a heck of a description.
Yeah, it's something you wouldn't think. Like, I was like, how's this going to work? I was worried that it was going to be like, okay, they got, because there was a big action open. So I'm like, okay, is this it then? Or is there like one more towards, but no, they intersperse it throughout. You know which one I liked a lot what was that Netflix one? See, that's horrible that I don't even remember.
That's kind of how they
Counterattack?
make them.
Counterattack, right? Was that it?
That one was good, but no, it was the one I did right before that. It was a Japanese one. Oh my god. See,
Too
this
much
is
content at bulletproofaction.com, folks. We can't
yeah,
even think about what we wrote this year.
That and
too
too many
much.
Netflix movies.
That's well, I'm doing like 2 to 3 a week easily. So yeah, they get lost in the shuffle. But yeah, I could guarantee you I will remember The Prosecutor because it was very, very good. So again, best movie I've seen so far, at least as far as new movies that I've never experienced, because I have watched fucking Death Wish 3 in this year and ain't nothing beating that.
And
And
you're getting ready for that new release too.
I was gonna say, yeah.
oh
That's big
yeah,
news
let's
this week.
talk about it. 4K Death Wish 3, 4K Ninja Trilogy. Goddamn Kino Lorber, you bastards. But yeah, definitely excited for those.
They're
coming
coming for your
Physical
wallet,
media
Brian.
forever, folks.
Indeed. And before we get in, let's talk about we talked about what we have had on this, what's coming. I know Matt Spector has some new image ready for us later this week. I will be paying tribute to talk about great movies. Great movies. I'm going to be paying tribute to my all-time favorite, Superman. Fitting because we've just got another trailer. I guess the final trailer for the new Superman that will come out July 11th.
What were your thoughts on the trailer?
I enjoyed it. I love my old Superman because it was a simpler time, and I understand we have to keep things updated. And I mean, it's true. If there was a Superman in today's world, he'd be getting hassled, and he certainly seems to be getting hassled in that trailer for doing what he thought was right.
I feel like he'll be getting hassled more from like the governments and not from the people.
Right.
He'll be like the
we'll
people's
see.
champ. But I don't know.
I don't know. The people seem pretty angry with him.
I noted that I saw the arcade is in the trailer.
All right. Thank you very much. Kenny K. All right. So yeah, that's coming up. Toyman, I know you're excited because one of your favorites is getting a bit of a revival on the big screen for the first time in many, many, many years.
Yeah, we're going to have Karate Kid Legends at the end of the month, the first theatrical release since the next Karate Kid, the Hilary Swank one, which shockingly did not get a tie-in to Cobra Kai. Spoiler alert for anyone who did not finish Cobra Kai. But after losing Cobra Kai, a show which I enjoyed greatly, and I've talked about it and written about it over the years here, Bulletproof Action, it's going to be very interesting to see them merge the original Karate Kid world with the reboot reimagining world featuring Jackie Chan, and seeing what comes of this. But given the trailers that they've released so far, I'm into it. I think they could pull this one off.
And of course, we will also have continuing coverage of The Last of Us. We're getting to the last of the episodes for this season.
Yeah, it feels weird to just sit down and watch one episode a week with Andor dominating with 3. But yeah, we're getting down to the last handful, and they still got a lot to cover. They could stretch this second game out for another 3 seasons at the rate they're going.
Well, as long as it keeps bringing traffic to the site, I encourage that to happen.
There you go.
So there you go. Bulletproofaction.com. What a variety that we spoke of just here. And there's always even more variety than what we talk about. So check it out. All right, guys, here we go. This is one that I have been wanting to talk about for quite a while. And we're going to finally talk about it. We're going all the way back to 1971, although us folks here in the United States, the earliest we could have seen it was October 5th, 1972. I'm talking about The Big Boss.
Damn you, Reagan.
Reagan had nothing to... What? 1970. All right.
Carter?
Nixon.
Yeah, they were hiding the reels of this in the Watergate Hotel.
Yeah, maybe that's the reels. I'm glad you mentioned that because the lore is that this movie was supposed to be released as The Chinese Connection, which makes sense because of the drug aspect of the story, and The French Connection was a huge hit, and it was about drug trafficking. So it makes sense that they were going to try to piggyback off of that. But apparently the films were put in the wrong canisters. So the big boss was in the one listed as Fist of Fury. So then when they actually released Fist of Fury, they had to release it as the Chinese Connection, even though that really makes zero sense to that storyline.
I love little old Hollywood or old movie stories like that.
So
just people trying their best.
Right. So when I grew up watching this for the first time, it was Fists of Fury. And I had the VHS that had Fists of Fury. It was not until recent, I would say recent, but modern times, we've changed everything, put everything the right way it's supposed to be. I'm assuming that was the same for you, Chris.
Yes. Matter of fact, my first VHS copy, was actually taped off TV up here in New England, Rhode Island. We had a channel out of Boston, WSBK TV 38. It's the channel that was most famous for having the Three Stooges New Year's Eve marathons. But
the old
like
Westbeck.
What's that?
The old Westbeck.
I thought you said West Peck. I'm like, who's West Peck? We just invented a new reference right there.
Possibly his whore.
I mean, that opens Ryan up to a lot of interrogation and questioning on this podcast, but let's skip over
Not
that.
as much
Let's get
as
back
you
to
want
the
to open
big
her
boss
up.
here. See, and usually I'm the one making those
At
jokes.
least she's not my cousin.
All right, we'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We will. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let's not get into that one. But no, as I was saying, like most local market channels, they would have, kung fu movies on the weekends. Not the traditionally low budget ones that you normally find that ended up in the public domain, but more worthwhile ones. That being the Bruce Lee films. So I wore out a commercial edit of Fists of Fury before I got my hands on an actual store-bought copy.
I think I even have had a DVD where it was Fists of Fury. So, again, it's a recent change in the grand scheme of things.
I have a 2-pack. Well, I have since opened it, obviously, but back when DVDs were first becoming popular, so 2000, 2001, I got a 2-pack from Sam's Club, and one was Fists of Fury and one was Chinese Connection, and it was a $10 2-pack.
Yeah. So, and I feel like I don't think I saw it on like Kung Fu Theater right away. My friend had it. I think he rented it, and it was like one of the sleepovers, and I just was like amazed by this film. It was really my introduction to the world of Kung Fu movies, and possibly my introduction to the word bastard, but we'll get into that. So let's do it. The movie began. What a jazzy opening theme, though, huh?
It reminded me of the Spider-Man 1967 cartoon intro.
Right. Yeah. And that's why when I put on my Blu-ray, I didn't realize I had it on the Chinese audio, and it was a different song. And I'm like, "What? This isn't no!" And then I had it. It was a real mess trying to get this all organized for this. But when I hit the proper audio, everything was as I remembered it.
Everything was jazzy.
It was jazzy. It's so high energy. And we go right into Cheng Chowan, Bruce Lee, and his uncle Lou arriving in Thailand. And this is kind of, Chris, I would say almost like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Cheng Chowan got in trouble. He was always fighting back home. And it's like, okay, we got to get you the hell out of here because you're heading down a bad path.
But that's about to backfire since his cousins, one in particular, has a penchant for fighting.
Indeed.
Did he whistle for a rickshaw when it came near?
Maybe. They should have. But yeah, we get that. So they arrive. They stop for a cold drink. And almost as soon as they sit down, the owner, played by Nora Mal, who's in like all of Bruce Lee's Hong Kong movies, she gets harassed by these goons. Chang, of course, instinctively wants to get involved, but his uncle's like, "Oh, you promised not to fight." And he even wears like this necklace to be the symbol of that promise. And then things get worse because a young boy shows up selling rice cakes, just like the ones Ryan's eating. And the goons then turn their attention to him. And his kid's like, okay, great. It's a hit. My rice cakes are a hit. But they don't want to pay for them.
Oh, just your stereotypical like movie assholes hassling everybody. Somebody really needs to show them what for.
A little kid. And when he asks for the money in his fair transaction, they're enjoying these rice cakes. He just wants paid. They call him a little bastard.
Ding.
And I like how the main guy that's grabbing the rice cakes takes a bite of one, and then you think he's gonna like put it back, but he actually grabs more for his friends. So
Right.
either way, he's just unsanitary.
He's disgusting.
I bet you being called a bastard is the worst thing that would happen to this kid in this movie.
Oh, well, we'll find that out. But this was the first of 6 bastards in the movie. I didn't
As opposed to the 3 that are recording this podcast right now.
Oh, you're right. One of them's never mind. So yeah, they rough up the youngster. So he goes crying, and as he's running away, coming towards everyone, is one of my all-time favorite movie characters on the planet, Shushain, played by James Tien, who rumor has it was originally the star of this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but then Bruce Lee had to come in, and
Bruce Lee became available, and they changed things up.
Oh.
Wasn't it that they lowballed Bruce Lee initially until they changed directors or whatever?
It could.
I'll have to go back and check my Fist of Fury history.
But yeah, James Shushain shows up, sees the boy who we find out is his little brother crying, and he's like, "Okay, who the hell's been messing with my brother? Oh, these bastards!" So he goes. We get a fight, and Shushain, he don't care if there's multiple people. He just takes them all on. And they try to run away. Shushain's like, "Hell no, I'm going to go right after you." So this fight is going across some, they're getting some leverage out of it. And then Uncle Lou's like, "Oh, that's your cousin Shushain.
Surely he won't be a negative influence on you, who I'm encouraging not to fight."
So they go and they track him down. And yeah, Shushain's like, "Oh, my family's here." So he stops, and the goons run away. And but Shushain very happy to see his family, and immediately he's like, "Let's go home. Let's go to my place. It's not too far. We could walk there." So they don't have to get the rickshaw, Ryan Campbell. It's in walking.
That's right. I forgot. This entire movie takes place within a walking distance of each other. Like everyone just walks everywhere in this little.
Everybody's so fit.
It's like a 15-minute city here in Thailand. It's nice.
Right. It's like Rhode Island. You can get anywhere. You can get to like 9 targets in 20 minutes.
Everyone knows they don't have cars in Rhode Island. That's the irony. It's called Rhode Island.
They have roads. What?
Just
terrible roads. Pothole-filled roads.
Oh, that's salty air. All right. So Chang, so they go home, and we meet the whole gang.
Whoa, this is like a commune they got going on here, man.
We got a Shan, a Chai, a Pei, a Yen, and of course the comedic Akun.
You should have ended that one with a punchline. The comedic aha. Just kidding, folks.
Okay.
I'm a dad. I'm entitled to at least one dad joke per podcast.
Toyman is trying to write material for me now. No, I'm not doing it. But yeah, Akun. And then Chang is introduced to Chow Mei. And if they are cousins, and I know Michael Worth has talked about this on the Clones Cast, sometimes things may be lost in translation a bit, and like, are they really cousins, or how much are these people cousins? Or
well, that was like in Mean Streets of Kung Fu, where the girl kept calling Barry Chan brother.
Right. And so, then
you would think when they're doing the rewrites and the translation, they would just be like, "We'll just change that. It's all good." Of course, in the 70s, who knows? Maybe it was, I don't know what y'all were getting up to in the 70s.
What does that even getting up to? Like, how would I know? I was like a youngster. I wasn't getting up to anything. I was watching I don't know, Battle of the Planets, probably. It's Star Wars, Superman. Anyway, it becomes clear that like they're trying to like tease some sort of romantic relationship and just try not to think about the whole cousin part, or hopefully they're cousins very many times removed.
Yeah, let's
Third
not get into
cousins.
specifics.
Right. So they all visit for a while. They gossip about old Wang and his missing prostate, which has made him as useless as a eunuch, if in case you're wondering. And then Shoes mentions, "Hey, yeah, I got
From old
Chang."
Wang to no Wang.
Right. Yes.
Take your
Now
pick.
that's good. See, you've made up for your bullshit. Okay. So she's like,
Is that on
"Hey,
the penalty box?
I've got a job lined up for Chang at the ice factory."
Oh, that
nice.
sounds like a really nice, stable place to work.
Indeed. So the next morning, Shu takes Chang with him to work, introduces him to the manager. But before that, Chris, we see the manager. He's doing some shady business in the office with the boss's son.
Yeah, and you know the similarities between this and the film that I just reviewed, with the shady managers trying to kind of undermine the workers and use the workplace for their own shady dealings. See, now you can bring Barry Chan into the Bruce Lee level for things. They were, you know, practically brothers with how they had these plot lines.
Barry Chan stole the plot from this. That's my interpretation of what you just said. So the manager's like, he meets him. "Oh yeah, we'll try you out for a week. Don't get in any fights, okay? Must be a real fight epidemic." Well, obviously we've seen it. Shu Shane
This is
Also,
a
a lot of
very
foreshadowing.
this is a very pent up town, man. These people,
yeah.
they're all just walking around ready to throw hands at a moment's
they're
notice.
checking
This is
out
the
their
worst
cousins.
place for him to be. Yeah.
Well, Shu Shane definitely is. So later that evening, Shu and Chang are strolling around town and they spot a woman crying. And this woman's, they have no money. Her husband keeps gambling all their money away. And Shu Shane, being the sympathetic man that he is, goes into the gambling house, tracks down her husband, and shows him that all these games are rigged. He's never going to win. He's wasting his time and life in this no-win situation. So then they go outside. She was like, "Hey, here's some money. It's a loan. Pay me back when you can. And don't come around here anymore." And this is when I said, "By God, we should all wake up every morning striving to be Shu Shane."
And you
What
would
a
think that
kind
those
man.
traits
Yeah.
you would think that those traits should be given to the main character, you know, to Bruce Lee's character, given that he's the top build and the hero of the story. But to your point about how the rumor was that James Tien was going to be the main guy, is this kind of like what we're seeing of like the original script when he was supposed to be the main
Mhm.
hero? Or was this left in so that you feel sympathy for the events yet to come? Because you would
Yeah.
think that Bruce Lee being, you know, being the new guy in town, like he's not
Right.
afraid to step in, he's not fighting, but he'll still speak up, show that he's got a voice, and he's just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're doing there.
I kind of read it as Shane probably used to be like that, was idealistic and very much like that. And then throughout the situations that got him into trouble, and now he's vowed to kind of be different. So that's kind of the way I read into it. Was
He's kind of
he's just,
suppressed it.
yeah, he's just got more experience, or he's just kind of had that idealisticness kind of beaten out of him just from all the years of fighting, and now he's trying to move on from it. Maybe.
Yeah, his do-gooding got him in so much trouble that he's now in Thailand.
Because I feel like he never tells him, like, why are you bothering with that stuff? He just kind of observes. Like, he's kind of watching him like, yeah, I remember when that was me getting into, everything I could possibly get into.
Well, you know who's not happy that Shu Shane told everybody, or at least told Ping, that these games are rigged? The gambling house thugs, of course, and they come after him. And again, Shu Shane doesn't care that there's multiples of them. He's like, "I'm going to kick all your asses." He does, though, get some help from Chang, who finds what I would call loopholes in the promise. He's just stretching and stuff.
Pretty clever. And even then,
Stretching into a couple of back fists.
Mm,
with that patented Bruce Lee snap, just that the way he like lays it in with like
mhm.
and just a charismatic smile the entire time. Yeah, he's finding ways,
He's got it.
skirting around the edges.
And they all, and then
Mom will never know.
right. I promise never to fight, and they get a good laugh out of it, and then they go off into the evening. The next morning, Uncle Lou is ready to go home, and Chang sees him off, and then he's got to head to his first day of work. But then on the way, we see Chow Mei down by the river getting rizzed up by the boss's son.
Ooh. Never bother a woman when she's doing laundry. That's like the last thing she wants to do is flirt.
He's laying it on thick. And fortunately, before he can get too in her business, Chang shows up and she runs over to him. And they get a little bit close, and there's a little electricity. And I think Chow Mei is tingling afterwards.
Tingling.
What say you?
She should see the doctor for that.
I'm saying the river wasn't the only wet thing after that situation.
Hey. Ooh. Maybe if the boss's son was related to her.
Hopefully the second wet thing is not as full of bacteria as that river was.
Oh, you're right. Hygiene is important. All right. So
it's a pretty decently flowing river. It's probably not too bad.
Oh, it's flowing pretty good, yeah. It's got that like little bit of a waterfall.
It's like
is this what Bruce Lee meant when he said be like water?
I don't think so, but possibly. So Chang's first day is not a banner day for him. Before he gets there, it's like, get to work. It's like, well, no one's told me what to do. Doing what? And then
he's late, apparently.
He's late, yeah. We're on the dot, people here, says the foreman. And, the foreman really has he's like, oh, go help them push the ice down the chute. There's already like 3 people doing it. So the efficiency here needs to be checked on. But Bruce is like, I could do this, or Chang said, I could do this on my own. Watch this. But then the whole thing, it goes a little cattywampus and breaks the chute, and the ice goes crashing down to the ground, and there's Wong and Chen standing around. I don't know what they were doing there, but they were in the wrong place at the wrong time because they see something in that ice.
The drugs.
So those damn
drugs. It's a Chinese pinata. Break the ice, get your drugs.
There you
Indeed.
Go. This ice factory too, man. This is a meat grinder for the men of this town.
Oh yeah. It's one of the world's most dangerous factories, I would think.
I think so.
But
I think it may have been.
There's just parking lot brawls every day.
You should check it out, folks. World's most dangerous factories. Posted last Labor Day.
Employees just keep going missing, and everyone is like, oh, they probably found some ladies or got drunk, because that's what all men do.
That's right.
And let's not forget that ice is transparent. So how are they not already seeing the stuff that's packed in there?
Listen,
just the edges were transparent. The middles had that kind of like frosty ice,
cloudy, right? And it's just white.
It's kind of like those joke ice cubes with the fly in it that you could buy at Spencer Gifts 30 years ago.
It's white powder. Can't see that through ice. Maybe it's frost. I don't know. But yeah, go to Spencer Gifts and see if they still have those ice cubes and get back to us, people. All right.
If they still have Spencer Gifts.
They do still have Spencer Gifts.
Yeah, there's one in the mall by me that me and Emmy have gone to a few times.
I don't know that they have novelty ice cubes anymore, though. It's
the GameStop brain is no longer in that mall, though.
Well, get the last rites ready.
That's right. Northgate Mall is fledgling.
No GameStop, no future. Oh yeah, so Chang gets hit for fucking up, which is a great way to discipline your employees or coach them, you bastards. But all right, he gets through. At the end of the day, everyone's going home except Wong and Chen, who are summoned to the manager's office.
Finally, all that work they've been putting in, time for a promotion.
So the manager, tells them, Ryan Campbell, about what's really going on. at
That's
this
right.
ice factory.
With a big old smile on his face, he says, "No profit, nice. In dope, plenty." Love it. I love the manager.
He's good.
Yeah, he was talk about laying it on thick. He's always just like, if I say illegal things with a smile, no one will ever notice.
He's good. He offers them each $1,000, but they don't want to accept it because they're simple country folk and they don't know these things.
Oh man, read the room, guys.
Here's the thing, and okay, well, make sure you don't tell anybody about this. Oh, we won't say a word. As they're leaving, one of them says, "I can't wait to tell Shane about this." I don't know that I mean, it's been a bit since I've watched this thing a bazillion times in my youth and as over the years, but it's been a couple years since I've checked this out. And I'm like, you almost deserve what you're about to get because you just promised not to say anything. And no, the first thing when you get out the door, I can't wait to tell Shane.
Yeah, of all the ways to play this situation, they did it just about the worst possible way.
But the manager comes out, he's smoking his cigarette, and he flicks the butt into the bushes, which is the Iggy for the goons to pop out, and they just kill Wong and Chen. And then all of them go to the ice factory, and they put these guys on ice.
Literally.
I don't know what's the end game plan there.
What are they going to do with these bodies at some point?
I mean, like, it's ice. You kind of have to you got to keep it cold. You got to keep it there. You can't just stay there forever. It's kind of, and you're keeping some incriminating evidence just sitting in a storage area somewhere.
I imagine they were going to take it somewhere at some point, but they probably had to make sure it was the right. I don't know. I mean, this obviously must be all happening within just days. So maybe they were waiting for the Friday truck to come in to load them up and dump them in the sea or something.
Maybe.
And what I find funny about this, especially after watching, Revolt of the Dragon, aka the Brave Lion, is that it seems that back in the day, death at a work site, no big deal. But the majority of these movies that we watch, it's because someone is swearing vengeance upon the oppressor or someone evil or a drug lord or something like that. So all of these follow the formula for the path of revenge. But if you get a guy that dies on a work site because he's getting abused by his employer, don't worry about it. Just get back to work.
Yeah, there's no OSHA. You just die.
Fighting for workers' rights. And we see that in this movie. Solidarity with the working man. Unionize the ice factory.
Settle down. So the next day, no Wong, no Chen. So Shu's like, what the hell? I'm going to go see the manager. The manager tells Shu, oh, yes, I did summon them because the boss wanted to see him.
Ooh.
And because he wanted to give them whatever. They're good workers, whatever. And they went to the bosses, and that's the last I saw them.
They're probably out there with chicks and booze.
So she was like, maybe I should go see the boss. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, says the manager. All right. Well, speaking of the boss, it's time to meet him. And boy, does he get an introduction because he comes out and shows his goons and his son how to do the martial arts.
I like that. A boss willing to get his hands dirty, willing to really show the guys, how it's supposed to be done.
Willing to almost stab them.
Right. You like a boss that leads by example.
Right. We heard that last time on our, leadership is not a position.
That's right. It's a calling or something.
Yeah.
It's an action. Is that what it was?
Yes,
a verb?
It's an action.
There you go.
Chad Michael Collins. I should have mentioned the Chad Michael Collins movie that I reviewed as well, but you already know that because you've already checked out bulletproofaction.com. Haven't you?
Ooh,
haven't you?
I like that turnaround.
That's right. So yeah. The boss, he does his thing, but then his son pulls him aside. He's like, I need some more money, Dad. Typical kids, right?
Jeez, you're right.
And then
I need more Robux, Dad.
And then he's like, I got this chick for you. She's going to make you feel like you're 20 again. You know why she's going to make him feel like she's 20? He's 20 again?
She's gonna break his back and make him humble.
No, because she's like a little dove from Darjeeling, and when she walks, she's poetry.
Ooh.
That is a line that has stuck with me for many a decade.
How many times has it gotten you
Sad
slapped?
I never used that one.
Right.
I've never.
Does it work on the women up there in Cleveland?
I've never used it, but I remembered it. Maybe I should have. Maybe
If
I
you go on down to the arcade and try to use that line. Will it
Oh
work?
yeah, I'll see. They probably would just look at me like they look at me when I say anything. What the hell is this guy talking about? Anyway, the boss is amused, intrigued, and possibly turned on by this whole scenario. And it's kind of, we talked about the whole cousin thing. How odd is it that the son is like trying to get his dad laid? I don't know. That seems a
I
bit
guess
odd too.
I mean, I guess that can be just be considered like an evil quirk. Like, they're, lecherous scumbags. Like, hey, here's a girl, son. Here's a girl, dad.
Yeah.
I mean, they have sex slaves living in the house.
You're right. Well,
You mean to tell me when my son gets older, he won't help me get chicks? That's
he
not part of
might.
the deal?
He might. I don't know. I know he wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire, but he might help you out. Jesus.
He's a good boy.
He hates me, but that's all right. Emmy thinks I could walk on water at times, I think. So it all balances out. So yeah. Oh yeah. So Shu and Ape, because Shu, you're gonna go by yourself? Yeah. No, I'm coming with. Okay, Ape. They show up at the gate. They're escorted to the boss's office, which has no desk, just like a couch and a coffee table and a woman lightly massaging them.
I like it. It's like a very open concept, new wave office.
Yeah.
They're ahead of the game.
They really were. And she was like, hey, a lot of these people, there's a bunch of people who've gone missing, and we'd like to talk to you about it. And this is where we get with money in their pocket, they're probably drunken with women. No, I don't believe that. They wouldn't do something like that.
These are upstanding guys.
And the boss is like, okay, fine. Let's just assume we never are going to see these two dumb shits again. Would that really be so bad? Would that be the worst thing that could happen today?
Can we get him on consciousness of guilt with that statement?
So Shu keeps pushing. And then he's like, you better just drop this whole thing or you'll be sorry.
Oh.
And he's like, so Shu's like, what is this? You're threatening me? I bet they're dead now. What? I didn't say that. You implied it. And Shu is very animated. And I love Shu Shane. So this is why it's going to be real tough for me in a moment.
He's a little overconfident, I would say.
He is. And he's like, I'm going to take you to the law. All right, get the hell out of my house, you bastard. He didn't say that. He could have. There could have been easily 10 bastards in this movie. All right. So Shu and Ape then have to make their way home. But all those goons are hanging out in the yard. And it's like, okay, we ain't getting out of here without a fight. So here we go. Shu Shane, once again, gets to kick multiple people's asses at once. But while he's very good at that, Chris, Ape, not so much.
No, in a scene that you could put in any Friday the 13th film, he takes a hatchet to the back.
And his dying words, Shu Shane! And Shu goes racing over to him because Shu is like the greatest human being on earth. But unfortunately,
going right down his spine at this point too.
Yeah, he's like, but that momentary lapse of concentration sets him up. He gets a knife to the gut, and my man, Shu Shane, dead.
Went down in a blaze of glory, trying to do the right thing, being a hero.
He did. Shu Shane again.
Bit off maybe a little bit more than he could chew.
Oh. All right. Back home, Chang sitting there, all these empty beds because they all just sleep in one big room on the floor.
I
Except
also
for,
like how no one will eat until everyone is there.
yes, they're polite people.
They are. They're good people.
They got manners. I mean, not
They let
not
that
my
food go cold waiting around for
not
you.
at my family dinners. Kenny K's the first one got the food on his. He's already going for seconds before some of us have even eaten our first. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Cheng's like, okay, we got time to lock up for the night. Apparently, they're not coming home either. This is an epidemic. Chow Mei
This town just goes missing randomly. Everyone that works at the ice factory.
At least the house feels less cramped now.
Right. You could spread out. Chow Mei is a wreck though because her brother Shu Shane is not coming. No one gives two shits about a pay though. No one's like, "Where's a pay?" Fuck him. Shu Shane isn't coming home. We got problems. So yeah, the next morning, same thing. Still no Shu. So Akun decides to rally the troops, not actually doing anything himself, of course, because he's a lazy bastard, and go around, ask around town about Shu. So we kind of get somewhat of a montage. And again, nobody asks about a pay, but that's okay. When Chang gets to work, he notices everyone is now huddled outside the manager's office. What's going on? And the manager comes out.
Hey everyone. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, Shu and a pay. They did go to the boss's house, but then they left. But the boss is going to call the police. He's even going to talk to the mayor.
In the morning, you'll see.
Get to work now. But the workers, they're getting restless. And Akun, of course, being the big talker, is like, we'll tear the place apart. We'll burn it to the ground. And again, if that were to happen, he wouldn't lift finger one. I got news for you. So then Chow, the foreman, starts ringing the bell, but the guys ain't working. And now, Chris, they start striking in more ways than one.
Yeah, I've never seen an actual union go on strike and start fist fighting their management. Maybe it's a tactic that some of these other companies should try this day and age. But for the purposes of the film, the unrest just keeps growing and growing, and things are starting to bubble over, especially when it comes to Chang as well.
Can you imagine like a big old fight at like an Amazon factory and everyone's just like chucking their piss bottles at each other?
Oh my word. Talk about bacteria and
drones are getting broken over Jeff Bezos' head.
Yeah. People are just opening boxes looking for weapons.
They find dead Shu Shane.
That would be a good like little action movie, like trapped in an Amazon warehouse, and you just have to keep like opening shit to find like weaponry or things that you can use.
I can't imagine we won't have a Die Hard at a warehouse.
Yeah.
Amazon warehouse.
And those things are so big, you could make one where like the warehouse is like the size of 20 football fields pretty much. So
we've got a little bit of sway with the action audience. Maybe we should start a Kickstarter. We'll get the script going, and we'll see what our readers wants to help produce this one.
I mean, one of the Amazon places is at the site of the old Silverdome. So
I know multiple racetracks that they've essentially torn down and replaced with just giant warehouses. Mm-hmm. We can call it prime time, Brain.
Oh, I love it. I love prime time. I also love this ice factory rumble. I love that the manager, your favorite, sees all this chaos and he calls for reinforcements, much like Schreiker would do. No, Fraker. I'm sorry. Much like Fraker would do in Death Wish 3 when he gets on the temporary gang hotline.
Calls the other gangs.
Yeah, that's right. They all have a SOS feature or something.
Like they go to the temps. Yeah, I need a few more. I need to put some heat in my area.
Goons are us.
900 turf war.
So he calls in for reinforcements, and there again, to your point, Ryan Campbell, with everything being in walking distance, when you actually have a vehicle, you can get to someplace in like seconds because that bus pulls up in no time. And all the goons come out. Chang is inadvertently punched in the face at one point. And there's Akun like, come on, you got to get involved. But Chang still, no. But when those reinforcements show up, the action gets close again. Chang's necklace is ripped off and broken. And that's it. Broken necklace. Time for a broken promise,
There you
bitches. And Chang gets to where he calls him bastard. And yeah, then it's just Bruce Lee doing Bruce Lee. And you see that scene and you see why this man was such an icon then, now, and forever.
It's just such style, such a unique
one of his more famous fight scenes too. This is one that definitely gets replayed in a lot of montages and everything.
Yeah, it is just an amazing
Dragon, right? When Laura Charles put the video together for.
Oh, yeah, we did very good. Check it out in the archives. It gets to the point where the reinforcements get back on their damn bus and leave. The workers are now rejoicing. The manager, though, I'll tell you what, he's on top of the situation because he immediately okay, Chang and his management team are all called into the office. And this means, once again, all the workers are just huddled outside. And one of the guys comes out, has a piece of paper, walks 900 yards away to hang it up on the bulletin board. And we find out that Chang Chaoan has been promoted to foreman.
Just like that. Yay! Victory for the workers.
What about Chao Li? Chao is out. He's back in the ranks. It's an exciting time.
Grab some ice, bitch.
They don't remember about any of their
missing friends.
It just, yay! Our friends are promoted.
Party at the house that we'll all already be at later tonight.
And yeah, but we're not just gonna walk home. We're gonna march home 1, 2, 3, 4 style. And they do. And when they get there, Chow Mei is like hanging up laundry on the line, and the little brother's helping, and they get caught up in the excitement, and they're marching too.
The Congo line's infectious.
Oh, it's like a Little Caesars commercial. Anyway, Akun then recaps because she's like, "What is going on?" And Akun gives the recap about the industrial unrest and how they didn't want to fight or work, and the fight starts, and then then she goes, "But what about Shu?" And boy, what a Debbie Downer moment that is, Chris.
Yeah, now we're longing for him to come back. Now we're in mourning.
Yeah,
we're not doing the electric slide anymore.
Right, that bit of reality smacks him in the face.
Killed the mood. Party pooper.
So, and she starts crying, and Chang can't take it. Chang can't take the tears. And he's like, "I promise you, Chow Mei, one way or another, we'll get Shu back," which is somewhat ominous. But it actually ends up being correct, I guess. So the next day, the manager, always with the manager. Like, they get nowhere with this manager. Why don't they just go to the
It's a very Karen workforce, constantly asking to see the manager.
The manager tells Chang, "Oh, the boss did go to the police." So Chang's like, "Okay, well, if we don't get an update on this by the end of the day, I'm going to go to the police." Finally, yes! Go to the police, people out there right now.
I have to assume they've probably bought the police in this little town.
Yes, but they don't know that. Listen, if you have someone who's gone missing, I think, 48 hours? Is it 48 hours? Or is it 72? If they're gone...
I think it's 48 for adults, but isn't it like 24 for kids?
For kids, okay.
I think there are extenuating circumstances, though, when you know it's directly related to their workplace.
Okay. Well, let's even say they don't know. You don't know a damn thing, but somebody you know that should be at your house hasn't been there for 48 hours and you cannot get a hold of them, you probably should call the police. At least get it on record that this person is missing. Thank you. That's my PSA for everyone.
The more you know star just flew by. Ding, ding, ding.
Very good. So yeah, but you know what? Guess what happens, guys? Chang doesn't make it to the police because he's invited to a party
in a closet.
Hey, you're right.
At least there's some Henny there.
They got the Hennessy's flowing. There's whores, food.
Whores that are all darted up.
Well, they used to work at the big house.
That's right.
Now they're back to the brothel. So yeah, we got that. Chang just having the time of his life. Then we cut back to the home, and it's just a somber, sad bunch of sad sacks sitting around.
Wait, they can't even eat.
Can't eat because they're waiting for Chang, who's not going to come home. Then we cut back to the guard.
Because the little brother didn't make the rice cakes.
Maybe. I think it was actually, he was just selling them. Chow Mei makes them. Back to the party, and Jung Chang is chopping stuff and then chasing the whores while everybody's clapping for some reason.
It looked like a good time, I gotta be honest.
And then old Chang's eyes start playing tricks on it when he takes a look at Miss Wuman and sees old Chow Mei. And next thing you know, Miss Wuman takes Chang back to the brothel because you can't get it on in the closet.
No, there's not nearly enough. There's 20 other people in there.
Right, this isn't an orgy. This is just some one-on-one fun. And then
if you think getting drunk would give him performance anxiety, imagine trying to do it with all those other people there.
Oh yeah, he could have had whiskey dick, and that would have been a problem. The next morning, though, Chang wakes up, sees where he's at, and does the walk of shame as he's leaving the brothel.
I'm not entirely sure he was even conscious for the.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's some questionable stuff going on there.
Yeah, he could have impregnated her, although that's not going to be a problem. Yeah, so he leaves the brothel, and of course, who's walking by just at that moment but Chow Mei?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate timing.
Ooh. An actual walk of shame moment.
Indeed. So then Chang gets to work after his wild night, and the guys find, where were you? Oh, I was having dinner with the manager. Oh, you piece of shit.
Just like that. See? 24 hours of being part of management. He already forgets where he came from.
You're one of them now. You're not one of us.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Happens too often. Chang realizes he needs to make things right. So
that's why whenever they try to promote me, I tell my bosses to fuck off.
That's why you got to be your own boss, Ryan Campbell.
That's right. No, because
then you can hire us.
Fight with myself.
Right. Yeah. Somebody hire me to count bastards, please. That's really.
You could hire us, and then we could record this show during work hours. We could get paid to podcast.
That's really what I'm best at, is counting.
Sign up for our Patreon.
Right. Substack. I'm going to Substack everything. Bastards. No, I'm not. All right. Oh, yeah. So Chang's like, I got to make things right. These guys are pissed. Well, I'll go to the manager because that always fucking works.
It's worked so well in the past 4 days.
And the manager's like,
the cast of this film were like the original Karens. Let me speak to the manager.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should go see the boss after work. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So the boss gets the heads up, and he's like, okay, son, we've got our new foreman coming over. We got to put on a good show. But you know who doesn't get the memo about putting on a good show is the dogs. These dogs...
That wasn't like an intimidation tactic?
I'm sure it was, but it's a bit odd, though. You would think he would just... Yeah, but yes, I get what you're saying, but these dogs, come on. But I'll tell you what, they're very well trained, because when the boss comes out and says, be still, those dogs be still. Like, instantly. My dog wouldn't do that. My dog would not do that at all.
Good old Remo.
He's good, though.
He'd probably go climb up Statue of Liberty or something.
He might. I don't know. My Remo's real anxious, so that's probably not going to happen for him, but he could surprise me. So then Chang, after the dog situation, he does, once again, we go to the very casual office, and we see the boss, and we see why these women have these marks.
Yeah, he's got a rough management style. If you spill a drink or upset him, he just darts you right in the chest. You know, I guess that's one way of disciplining.
Indeed. And then in come, so yeah, the boss given the usual, oh, I've talked to the, I've done this, I've done, it's just bullshit. And then the bullshit really comes in because the boss's son shows up. Oh, Dad, bad news. We've looked everywhere. We can't find anybody.
Everywhere within walking distance.
Right. Oh, I ask you to do a simple task and you can't get it done.
Woe is
Please,
me.
And then Shane's like, okay, this is great. And he just leaves. He's like, I have to excuse myself. Okay. And then boss said, we got to be extra cautious now. This guy, he's not like the others.
He's not a complete idiot like everybody else on this island.
So, son, so I say, hey, remember that girl I promised you? Oh, yeah. Tonight is the night. So Chang goes home, gets the cold shoulder and the cold dinner. Because they didn't wait for him this time. Right?
That's right.
Campbell. And they didn't leave it on the fire either. Because
he's lost the solidarity of his peers.
So then he's like, okay, I got to get out. They don't want me here. I got to figure out what's going on. But he doesn't realize the boss's son is following him. So Chang's first stop is to go see Wuman, his horror friend. And she, Chris, tells him all about what's really going on with this ice factory.
Yeah, so he finds out what the deal is, but loose lips sink ships, and that is not a horror joke. It's just stating the fact that she's not long for this world after he gets all the info.
Right. Because as soon as he leaves, the boss's son slips in and kills her. That bastard. So now Chang goes to the ice factory. And he's going to like, what? They're putting dope in ice? I got to see this for myself. So he gets into that. Oh, yeah. But now he's like, wait a minute. What else is in this ice? I see body parts. I see Shane.
Oh.
Found him.
Yep. He did
one
promise
way or
to
another.
find them. Yep.
One way or another.
I found him. How was he? He's cool. He's
He's just chilling.
Yeah, he's chilling.
The boss's son then flips the light on, and I thought you'd be nosing around here. And it's time for
because this is one of the only 3 places in this town.
So we get Ice Factory Brawl number 2.
This time deadly, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it is.
Stakes have been raised for this one.
With the exception of the cartoon breakthrough on the wall. This is a very brutal
I remember that Bruce Lee was not happy about that scene.
Right. The director, Lo Wei, that was like one. It's like, no, we're putting that in there.
I will only do this job if I'm allowed to have one Looney Tunes wall break.
It's like, I put this guy directly through the wall to take the fight to the outside, but when I punch this guy, he's just going to go through it with a crime scene outline.
Right. But yeah, Chang eventually kills everyone, including the boss's son. Then he's like, okay, well, I've killed everyone. Time to go home and tell everyone what I
Meanwhile,
found.
like 2 towns over, people are like, where the hell is the ice?
Right.
That delivery was supposed to be here 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that episode of The Three Stooges where they're delivering ice and it's up like the 40 steps, and by the time Curly gets up there, it's just an ice cube.
It's perfect. Chang gets home and there's nobody around, and then he slips in a pool of blood, and that's where he realizes everyone has been massacred. He runs to Chow Mei's like shack behind the house. She's not there, but the little brother's killed. They even killed the little brother.
Killed the kid, man.
So now what's left to do but go to the river and contemplate life.
Contemplate vengeance.
And yeah, as he's thinking about all that's going on, his vengeance meter is hitting a new high.
And his inner monologue kicks in.
He's ready.
Now,
and yes.
He's already gotten into fights. He's already killed off people like the boss's son. Why is he contemplating now? He's already broken his vow. The necklace has been ripped off. He's already killed people. He's already on a path of revenge. Why is he pausing to do this? Unless he's like, if I do this, I could get myself killed.
Could be thinking about bouncing.
Yeah. Or I would hope that if he's killed people, maybe it's probably good that he has to stop and be like, "Do I want to keep?
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, he's not a psychopath.
Do I
That's
want to
true.
keep doing this because I've gone pretty damn far as it is?" Or then he's probably like, "Well, shit, I've gone this far. May as well kill the main bastard behind the whole thing."
It's like Kung Fu Roadhouse. Now the can't put that toothpaste back in the bottle.
Mm-hmm. So he goes and he's walking with a purpose, and the music is just excellent in this film. He gets there, he has to jump over the fence, and
this is where my copy of the movie brain cut out.
I'm sorry.
And I tried 3 times to restart it on Plex, and for whatever reason, as soon as he hops that fence, it just shuts down.
You're going to be shocked to find out how this one ends.
Ryan had actually jumped to the scene of Police Academy 2 where Jones jumps the fence and becomes Bruce Lee.
Oh, that'd be good. So yeah, so as luck would have it, as Chang is walking up, the boss is like sending his goons like, "Where's my son? Go out and look for him." So the goons are going out. He's coming in. Well, these two are going to cross paths. We get a fight. The boss is there with his bird cage, just enjoying it and watching it. But then when it's time for him to get involved, he throws the bird cage up and it perfectly hooks onto a branch.
Oh, that's badass. I wish I could have seen that.
And then Chang just throws a nut and just knocks it down.
Oh, that's cool too.
And then the birds fly
that's
away.
pretty sweet.
So
yeah, you're right. I did not expect that.
Now the boss is like, "All right, you bastard, let's do this thing." So he takes his glasses off, so you know he means business, and we're getting it. It's the big boss, versus Chang. And they go at it for a bit, and then, Chris, we get to see the abused worker get a little revenge of her own.
Yeah, she frees Chow Mei and she's like, go out this way. And it's very nonchalant how it's done. It's not like you need to escape. Here, come with me. It's more like, here you go, just right there, like as if you're directing someone in like the store. Like, oh, cat food's in this aisle.
Yeah, go to aisle 3. That's where you need to go. But to my point earlier, Chow then leaves, and so the final fight continues, and then like the end with the knife. The boss throws the knife, but Chang kicks the knife back at the boss.
And then like it freeze frames very briefly, like the editing. It's like he gets like stuck, and then the film is just paused there for a second.
And then the boss is down and out, and Chang gets on top and just starts pummeling him like it's fucking.
Well, don't forget about the rib cracking too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
After he's stabbed, he gets like
Mhm.
that rib snap. He like shoves his fingers up into him.
And then he pummels him like it's a damn Christmas story, and he's going after the bully. But again, walking distance, everything. You get in a vehicle, those cops are there in like 2 seconds.
Finally, where they been?
So Chow Mei shows up at the cops. Our man Chang is arrested for being a vigilante murderer. And the movie ends on a somber note. But
actions have consequences is the moral of the story.
Right. That's the Hong Kong style where here in America they'd be like, "Oh, Chang, you can walk off and kill
Get
again.
on out of here. I'll give you a 30-minute head start."
Right.
This is intellectual action.
Indeed.
It makes you stop and think. It makes you contemplate by a river.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
About how hot your cousin is. Wait, no.
Oh wow. All right.
Ryan really needed to see the end of this film. Something definitely got lost in translation for the 70 minutes that he saw.
Yeah. Ryan Campbell, your final thoughts on the what you did see. The vast majority, but
oh yeah, it's fun. It has all the kung fu elements that kind of make these movies so endearing with the characters. And I one of my favorite things about watching movies like this is all the kind of crosstalk going on in the background, like especially with the workers who are like, yeah, oh yeah, where's he at? What? Like all those little like bits. They always just make me laugh. But Bruce Lee at his best, like we said, such a unique style, and the way that they kind of hold him till really like almost the end of Act 2 of the film before he really unleashes his abilities. So you've watched, 4 or 5 fights at this point, and the minute that he that necklace breaks and he gets into the action, like you said, Brain, it's clear why he was the best, and his style just instantly changes and looks different, and you can see, he's been built up at this point as a threat. So, yeah, a good enjoying movie. I wish I could have seen the end of it. The birdcage bit sounded really awesome.
Well, you might be able to find it on the YouTube.
I bet you I could probably
the
just find
final
the
fight's
end
on
battle
YouTube.
or something. Yeah.
There you go. I'm glad you mentioned the background noise and all the chatter and everything, because I'll tell you what, folks. As someone who watches these movies and counts the bastards, sometimes all that noise is a problem.
Oh,
That's why the list is only of confirmed bastards, because there's a few moments where it's like, did they? I can't confirm it. I can't count it.
Were they talking about fish excrement?
And when you got bastards and masters in these movies, that's another problem. But again, context is key. Toyman, your final Big Boss thoughts.
See, when we write our movie, we'll have to have a character named Master Bastard.
Okay.
Put it down. Mark that one down.
I'm writing it down. Right?
He's the foreman of the Amazon warehouse.
I'm writing it down. That's the nickname they probably give him.
Right.
Oh, there's Master Bastard.
Master Bastard.
Wants me to piss in this cup, in this bottle.
Well, I mean, if they're angry, they might actually piss in this cup.
Right.
Best part of waking up, right? So anyway, back to this film, a true classic, which I know is easy praise to give to anything that Bruce Lee did, anything that the real Bruce Lee actually did, as well as some of the Bruce Playtation. I don't know if it's just the favoritism for this one, given that I had it on VHS and repeatedly watched it as a kid, but I would probably rank this one as my favorite of his output next to Enter the Dragon. I really enjoy this one. And shout out to James Tien too, because whatever the circumstances were that kind of pulled him away from being the hero, he really shined quite a bit in the first half of this film too. You got to admit that the first half of the film really was not about the Bruce Lee that we know and love. It was that more somber, again, that intellectual action. But we got a lot of amazing fights with James Tien, taking that role.
Absolutely. And I would put this, and I know it's blasphemy to Bruce Lee fans. This is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite Bruce Lee movie. I put it above all the other movies, including Enter the Dragon.
I can see it though. I can absolutely see people choosing this one for sure. I would not have any debate over that.
And I know it's a lot of that is sentimental. I know a lot of it is because this is the first one I saw, and this is the one I've seen the most. But again, from the moment it starts with that music, and I love the Shu Shane character, as I've mentioned. Obviously, Bruce Lee is a freaking marvel, and the boss, the bad guys are horrible, in the best way possible, and yeah, just great action, great music, and it opened the door for me. And honestly, I will also say this: I saw this one, I saw then Chinese Connection, or what is Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, or which I think was called Return of the Dragon at that point. Saw those, and then I saw Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger. To me, for a while, like kung fu movies needed to have this more modern day setting. And when I would go back and watch some of those I wasn't into the Shaolin Temple stuff early on.
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of grow into that, because it's like, no, that's not, they should be like this gritty, like 1970s, just everybody's kicking everybody's ass type thing. But,
well, we were even talking off air before we begin that you're still not really captivated by the mystical stuff.
right.
You really just want like the straight up bashers.
Yeah. Yeah. Like once in a while I'll watch pretty much anything sometimes, but yeah, I still kind of lean towards the bashers, like you said. But yeah, I'm glad we finally got to talk about this one. Absolutely love this movie, and hope you all loved hearing us talk about it. And maybe you did, maybe you didn't. You can let us know on social media at Bulletproof Pod on X and on Blue Sky at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and on Facebook. You could also join our Facebook group, and you could share the content you want to. You could share whatever you want on there.
There you go. Give us
Action
ideas.
related.
We need them.
Tell us what you're watching. Tell us what you want us to watch.
Right. And we were getting a lot of that. We're getting people who share what they're watching, give us little reviews of what they're watching. Fantastic. That's what the group is for. It's not just for me to post every day, because I do enough of that. So yeah, check
We're not
those
just
out.
pouring ourselves out here, folks.
No, that was meant to build a bit of a community of action fans and fanatics and kung fu fans and whatever you're into action wise. You know, the action genre covers a lot of bases, so something in there you're gonna like. YouTube
Just don't
channel.
be into your cousins.
Please don't. I mean, if you are, don't let us know about it. The YouTube channel. This week, we're going to put up some more archived, well, Ryan is, more archived podcasts. How about Enter the Dragon? We mentioned it.
Timely.
That'll be up. And also, how about a little rapid fire with Brandon Lee? It's a whole Lee family over on the YouTube channel this week. So check that out. Subscribe to it. Click the notification bell.
All the things.
All the things. So Ryan Campbell will have things to report about numbers and excitement.
That's right. So when I drag that page to refresh it, I get that little dopamine hit.
It's nice.
Do it for my dopamine.
Indeed. Do it. How about next time, guys? It's going to be a first-time watch for me, Ryan Campbell. I'm sure it's going to be a first-time watch for you. It's very rare. I know Toyman has seen it because he's covered it on the site. 1989's Cage. What can you tell us about it? What's the brief synopsis of it?
Give us the elevator pitch.
Okay, so you've got Captain America and the Incredible Hulk, and they're actually, well, hold on, let's backtrack. You've got Reb Brown, the original television Captain America, and Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk from the classic TV series, play a pair of Vietnam veterans. Lou's character wounded in the war in the opening minutes, so he's kind of a big kid, a child at heart, and he is kidnapped by the mob and manipulated into fighting in one of our favorite settings, gentlemen, the underground fighting circuit. And it's up to Reb Brown to find his friend and save him. A lot of cameos and appearances by a lot of familiar faces. I won't spoil them for you, but we'll certainly have a lot to talk about. This was a cable favorite back in the day, and depending on your enjoyment level, or however far you guys decide to go with it, there's even a sequel.
Well, we'll see if we survive the first Cage. But yeah, that is coming up next time right here on the Bulletproof Podcast. Ryan Campbell, anything else you want to talk about before we go home?
Nope, I think we covered it all. Last of Us, Andor. Go check out the articles and the other podcasts on Geekscape covering the Andor finale. And yeah, big summer coming up. We've got things like we were talked about earlier, Fantastic Four, Superman, New Mission Impossible. We're getting into that blockbuster season. So yeah, just about every week we're gonna have something new up.
Don't forget Ballerina's coming out. That's from the world of John Wick. Nobody 2, that trailer dropped. So that's another one I'll probably be. I think my theater plans are Ballerina in June, Superman in July, and then Nobody 2 in August. Toyman, anything you want to say?
Please go check out the new No Surrender Cinema. Give Barry Chan some love. And then get ready for just a couple of weeks from now. Karate Kid Legends is coming out, and I plan on being there for the preview screening so that you should have my review posted to the site on opening weekend. So if you're going to see it, if you're as excited about it as I am, I will be sharing my thoughts. Keep the spoilers to a minimum, like I like to do with the new content, but you can expect my thoughts and the impression it makes on me to come that weekend on bulletproofaction.com.
Thank you, Toyman. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you all for listening. And as always, stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.